Hello, everyone. I would like to present to you 5 amazing cave ideas for the 1.18 update. Now, I made these all myself. I hope that one of them inspires you to make a project of your own in the 1.18 Caves and Cliffs update. Now, let us get to the first idea that I would like to show you. Welcome, everybody, to the first amazing cave idea that I would like to show you today. And now let's jump right into it. So as you can tell, I built this in a lush cave biome. And the reason I did this is I wanted to show off the lush cave biome when I first saw it in the snapshots. And I thought, well, the best way of doing that is adding a accessible pathway that would go through, right? And so I thought, why not make a pavilion that kind of have a access point to all of the different passages that you would want to go through into the lush cave biomes. So let's go through here. So it's pretty simple, just to kind of give you a main idea of how it would kind of move around, like it would go down and up and around and connect to other pathways to make it more convenient. And the whole time when I was thinking and creating this, I was thinking it was kind of like a zoo, right? Where a zoo, they have specific pathways that lead to certain areas that would show different things. Like, for example, when you're over here, you can see a pond and another pond over here, just kind of showing off the lush cave biome. And here is another pond over there. Then over here, you can kind of see it go downward and more of the structure or pillar holding it together. So say you had a base in a cave, right? I think this would be an excellent way to connect it. And instead of having like an impressive structure for every junction, like fork in the road, you would just have a pavilion there. And this might have basic resources, or it might just have a main walking area in the middle for you to be able to get to all the different areas that you want to go. I think that's mainly what it needs to be. But if you look over here, now what is this? Warning, Pit of Doom. I wonder what could be in here. Oh, whoa, it's a crazy deep part of the cave. Amazing. Now let's go to the next cave idea. Here is idea number 2. So I wanted to go for a futuristic design this time around, and for the process that I was trying to do is change the shape this way and that, and try to find something that in my mind landed on a more futuristic kind of design, like a very complex kind of shape. So honestly, I have no idea what I'll call this shape. It's kind of oblong and round. And for the base here, I just wanted to have something to connect it to the floor. And then for the copper on the top, that's just to give a connection to the ceiling. So it feels like the whole thing is it's just another part of the cave. And that's how it was designed if people in the future were to come and build this in real life. Right. So let us go into the inside. So of course we have a water invader, because to me that seems very futuristic. I don't see water invaders around today, so that's cool. And for the inside, you can probably tell I didn't really go for a regular base kind of look, like there's no chest, there's no bed or anything like that. And the reason I did that is because there's not really a whole lot of space inside of this small futuristic build. So I wanted to go for more of a story element. And that story element is that, say this is, for example, Outpost 39 for a galactic empire in the future, right? And they wanted to explore the unusual cave development in this area, the pond over there, and the stalagmites on the ceiling, the mysteriously appearing mine shafts over there. They want to explore that and find out why that is. So they built this outpost here. Now, just a little bit more detail as to the interior. For the lamps, I just had shroom lights and trapdoors on the edges to kind of have a larger kind of lamp. So instead of just having a small lantern, I just have something that's a bit more wide span to kind of fit that office space kind of feel. Then in the middle, we have the power source of this outpost, which is a power crystal that was harvested from a distant moon, let's say, right? And the design aspect is it's just a block of amethyst surrounded by purple glass panes with end rods at both ends to give light in the middle of the room and also add that kind of separation from machine to crystal. Right, I think that's everything there is for the interior, so let's continue with the exterior. For the rest of the exterior, this pathway here, I just wanted to have a connection between the outpost and the pond area. Now, the main point of this pond area is not only just for the story, but for the design as well. Since when I first built this, I just was originally designing just to have the futuristic outpost here, but it didn't really sit well with just the blank template of the cave. So I added this kind of recreational park area. So in case you had a long day at the outpost, you could come here and relax. I thought that was a very nice addition to add. Now I think that's everything for this area, so let's give a quick look. So let's go through here. You see, you can go through here, right about all that nice stuff. And yeah, pretty cool. Now, why is this cave over here? You know, it just seems like a normal cave, but let's take a look inside. Ooh, what is that? Let's go check it out. Super top secret. I have no idea what that means. Let's go to the next cave idea. Let us get on with it, shall we? Oh man! For this cave idea, I would like to present to you the rocket! Oh, this is so amazing! So, the main premise or takeaway from this rocket is how the world generation has gone down 64 blocks and gone up 64 blocks since the last update. And I wanted to utilize more underground space for like an epic rocket launching into the sky. Oh, yeah. And the whole premise of the shape that I was going for is I didn't really want to make a rocket that was super sophisticated and complicated because I felt like that would take away from the aesthetic of the cave, of being able to launch up into the sky. Right. Then this is the platform. And as you can see, I kind of decorated it in a way with these light gray to darker gray tones to kind of mimic, like, oh, this rocket's launched and been here many times before, you know, like this is like not really a whole new thing. That people have been doing this for a while. And if you look inside, you know, there's a faint glow, like, oh man, like this was on just a moment before. And I really like that. I really like it a lot. I wanted to use copper in this build because it gave the kind of machinery look that very few blocks in Minecraft are able to do. So I wanted to do that for this one to kind of give it that more rocket look. This is the launch tower. So if you see this in more animation, the rocket would launch and then this would kind of pull away and while that happens. Now if we look inside here, you know, it's a pretty interesting staircase to go up here, but before we go up, let us go down into the basement. Now this is just a basic storage, and maybe Yoda and a little blue box, just some trickery that I added there. Now let us go up this staircase, and it's just some basic decoration, interior decoration, and these go out to the platforms. And I made all of the areas accessible from the outside as well, because I thought that would be a nice little detail. So in case someone else needed to come up here, or if somehow the inside is blocked off, then there's another way to get up here as well. And there's some more plushies and interior decorations. And at the top here is just, your stores and riches, just in case, anything were to go wrong or the rocket were to blow up, you have a fallback. You have something to be able to repair your investment. Now let's go down to the rocket level, and it's just iron door to kind of have that airlock seal. And inside, the theme I was kind of going for in the inside was whimsical. So not really like super detailed or strictly adhering to what needs to be inside of a rocket. The guy in his basement made a rocket and he's just trying to make it as comfortable as possible. And so here is some basic decoration, and for the border here, what I did is I made a map over on the top, the surface, and I created this large area for where the map would be on, and then added certain blocks to it to change the color, and then use that as my border for this room. So I thought that was a super cool idea. Now let's go down to the engine room, which is right over here. Let's go down there. Oh man. And in the engine room, there's all kinds of bits and bobs and places to access, levers to push, buttons to adjust. And of course, this is all designed to be automatic, so you don't have to be down here the whole time. You just set your coordinates on here, and then you're good to go for your whole trip. The ship will automatically calculate how to land in a certain area that you would want to be. Cool. Right. Here is the main engine block here. When you look inside, the fire is brimming and smoke is going, ready for launch at any moment. And toolbox. I love my toolbox. Okay, so now let us move on to the stairs and to what is up here. Now up here, I thought it was a very interesting idea, fireplace. They kind of make like a fireplace inside the rocket, even though there's nothing going out. It's the engine supplying the heat for the fireplace in its top floor. So now we have your kitchen area where you cook your things here, and you have your food, and you have your lasagna, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll just give you an entire look of the exterior, kind of go around, kind of show you how it's going with the nose of the cap here, and kind of go around. You have the cute little pool. Uh-huh. Now let's go underneath the platform. Ooh, what do we have here? So as you can see, I added some support beams to kind of add that kind of realistic vibe. And it looks like there's someone here. It says, "Hello, my name is Billy. I am a secret to everyone." Well, how odd is that? Well, anyway, let us move on to the next cave idea. This is the amazing cave idea number 4, and the location that I kind of wanted to base this build around was a underwater cave. Since those were added in the 1.18 update, I thought it'd be interesting to kind of figure out something that would work inside of it. Okay, so let's take a look. Oh man. So, as you can see, I've made a copper submarine, and I like it very, very much. Now, the color palette that I kind of chose for this was, obviously the copper, and then I figured some darker colors to go with it would kind of complement that submarine kind of style. The only other block that I found that kind of looked like that machine kind of look was the netherite block, which is this one right here. So that's why that's up there, to kind of give that machine look to this sprayed brick, because I didn't want to feel like brick. I wanted to feel like this has been manufactured and they had to put this on here. I didn't want to just put this in another lush cave. So what I did is I made a underground swamp, right? Added some cattails, which is just glass panes with a brown candle on top. And you might be wondering to yourself, how did I get the moss to go on top of the water? And how I did this is, if you get trapdoors, if you get trapdoors, you can put them down on the side of a edge of water. So let's see if I can find one real fast. Here we go. And then you can put the moss carpet down on the trapdoor, and then you just break the trapdoor, and voila, you have moss on water. And if you try this trick in the air, what I found is that it doesn't really work. It just kind of pops off. So I feel like this is more intended to have the moss on the water, to have a way that you can do that. And I think it looks really great as a underground swamp to have that moss going into the water, since that's how it would be in real life. So more of the story aspect that I had was that this submarine has been here for a long time. Like, it got stuck here, like there is a cave in, and there's tons of algae all over it, and as you can see in the bottom, it's connected. It's not going anywhere. It hasn't been turned on in a long time. There's even algae on the propellers. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's why the submarine is still here and hasn't gone into more open waters. So now let's take a look inside the submarine. So my thought process for the inside is that I knew I wouldn't be working with a lot of space, so I tried to make a second floor, and I think I've done a really good job by kind of using different levels of blocks to be able to give a arch, so it doesn't feel like it's taking up space in an irregular way. So in the back here, we have a engine, just a basic engine. You press your buttons, your trap doors open, and all that good stuff. And you're painting. Ooh, spooky. Anyway, If we go over to the front here, you have all your buttons, the dices, and your big red buttons that you would need, your screens to kind of have cameras on the other side, on the sides of the submarine. And then if you go right here, this is like the control dais, you know, all your different controls on how to control the submarine, and your buttons and all that cool stuff. And a neat addition to the console is that since I wanted to use this small amount of space as efficiently as possible, I also added a little toilet to it. With a cauldron of water attached to a piston. And there you go. And there you go, just not too complicated or anything like that. And then over here we just have an eating area. Here's your stack of pancakes. Oh man! And if you go up here, we have a kitchen. So we have a chef rat and refrigerator, your stove. There's all your basic kitchen anemones and lots of storage and a cake with a candle, which is really cool. And over here on the other side, we have the bedroom or sleeping area. So the occupancy for this submarine is only 2 people. It's not too big. You can do plenty with just 2 people in the submarine. Very easy to operate since only one person needs to operate the entire thing. And over here we have the same thing. We just have storage. You want to put stuff in. And we have little pieces of paper and pencils on the desk. Just very, very efficient storage. That is it for the submarine. And kind of sail around, Yahoo! Go here, you break the lily pads. Go underneath the tree. I very much like these trees. They're difficult to design and to create, but I feel like I was able to get the idea down and be able to have that kind of you're going through a tree look. Now, underwater, what I was kind of going for is kind of an overgrown life kind of feel, because I find in the underwater caves, normally what you would find is nothing. Like, it would just be water and that's it, just oars, no fish, no wildlife, no greenery, no coral, nothing. So I decided to add that all in, all of those underwater cool things. And I added that on every square inch of this thing. And of course, a key feature for the theme is tons and tons of algae to give that kind of aged look. Like this pond or underground lake hasn't been cleaned out in a really long time. And the same thing for the submarine as well. Now, well, what do we have over here? This little cave. Well, this is quite curious. What would be down here? What is this? What is this? This is a secret to everyone. How strange. Well, okay. Let us move on to the next cave idea. And now for the grand finale of our 5 amazing cave ideas video is what to do inside of a massive cave system. It's difficult to come up with a concept or a theme to kind of go with the size of it. I thought that one idea that I had would be absolutely phenomenal to put inside of a large cave. And that idea is a castle or keep. Isn't it just incredible? Oh, the shape and the design and the time it took to hollow out the cave to do all this took so long, but it was most definitely worth it. Now, let's start off small here. So here is the path, and for the design of these lamp posts, I just had a lectern on a brick wall, some fence, and a lantern. Very simple, but it looks perfectly like a lamppost. Now, if we look at the main island in this build, so it is an island, and there's lava going all the way around it. Here, I can show you. There's lava. It goes all the way around, okay? There's no bridges or anything going off of this. There's only one bridge. We'll get to that. So, the whole inspiration or theme for this was a medieval prison kind of vibe, since I kind of wanted to add a massive lava lake, since those were also added in the 1.18 update. So when it was first being contextualized, it was just this was supposed to be the main build. But then I thought to myself, there wasn't a whole lot of shape, there wasn't a whole lot of how am I going to get off of the island. And so I added this guard tower, and this guard tower does both of those things. It adds a lot of shape. It adds the connection between the island to the pathway leading to the outside world. Here is the main loft in the tower, so let's have a quick look around. Oh yeah, some banners, some armor stands, nice. Now let's go down to one of the siege rooms where you would have lots of supplies in case of siege. So let's have a quick look of that. Oh yeah. Now let's go up the stairs to the middle portion of the tower. So here is the main stairway to get to the top. Here is a closet that has some clothes and some things you'd want to put there. Then here is the outer deck area where if you were a guard, then you'd look out and try to see if there are any enemies approaching. Now let's get to the top of the tower. At the top of the tower, this is the warden's main sleeping area. So here we have his bed, here we have where he writes, here we have where he puts his flowers. Then up here we have a lookout area where he would look out and try to see any people coming by. Now let's go across a bridge over to the main keep area. Here is one of the first prisons. So in here we just have some basic things. For the beds, it's just a carpet and some snow. Then over here we have the bathrooms. Then over here we have exactly the same thing, just kind of in a smaller area. It has some nice decorations to the ceiling. Now let's go to the top. Here is pretty basic. It's just a nice level floor to look out in case there's any enemies approaching. You know where they are. Nice and basic. Now let's go to the first floor. At the first floor, it looks very reminiscent of the lobby in the tower room. It's kind of the same idea. Then over here we have the prisoners' items. So it's pretty basic. It just has all the items of the prisoners that would be residing here in this one room. Then this is the warden's office where he has his expensive suits of armor, then his grandfather clock, and of course his main desk where he's always staring into the eyes of his prisoner or one of his guards or anyone like that. Now over here we have the warden's bathroom where he has a toothbrush and some paintings and of course a nice bathtub. Then over here we have the warden's own personal tower that he can go up and take naps whenever he wants to. Then up here he has his own lookout area to look out in case any prisoners escape. Now let us move on to the dungeon slash cellar area. And here is the last prison that is inside of the keep. Then in here we have some cots and some basic decorations going throughout, and some more toilets, just the same thing as in the other prisons. Now let's go down to the bottom, which is where the cellar is. Here is the cellar where you might want to get a nice glass of milk, and you also have other things just in case the keep were to come under siege, such as armor, water, tools, and special filing cabinets, just for your own use. Over here is the guard building. Right here is the dining area where you have your cups of milk and hot cocoa, your pancakes, and some more places to get some more milk. Now down here is the kitchen where you have a spoon and a pot for your soup needs, then a churner for your butter needs, and some other basic tools and appliances that you would need in the kitchen. Over here is the closet, which has something special, which I'm going to show you right now. Oh man, isn't that exciting? Now over here is another storage room slash siege room where you might store yourself in case of an emergency. Here is a basic hallway with some interesting decorations. Then right here we have a delicious turkey dinner. Then right here we have the sleeping quarters. And of course the sleeping quarters, they have their own nightstands for all their little things that they might need. Now over here we also have the guard's bathroom. So if they ever need to use the bathroom, they have one in here. Awesome. Upstairs we have the armory. Now what's in the armory is of course all the expansive tools and armor and explosives that any guard would need, and also some shields on the wall for some armory decoration. Nice, nice. Now let's go outside again. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching, and if you liked what you saw, then please give me a like. That would be very much appreciated. And that's all for this time, folks. And believe that you can have an excellent day.